to the regular meeting of the City Commission, Monday, March 24th at 7 p.m. At this time, we have recognition. I know everybody on your agendas, you will see that we have Brad Paquette originally scheduled to give a tribute because his family was ill during the time of the trail groundbreaking, and unfortunately that has happened again this evening, so he will not be here presenting for that recognition. So please stand by. I'm sure if you've been on Walton Road, you've seen that they've started to grade that area, and they've really made a lot of progress. And we've chosen not to give an update because beyond just the grading of it, there's not much. So please stand by for more updates from the trail friends. I'm certainly will give us information as soon as it's available. So at this time, I want to move on to the proclamation in recognition of Women's Month. It's Women's History Month. I was super excited to have this on the agenda, and my wife is present tonight, and she's going to speak on that for a moment and how that came about and how we came to the point we are today to recognize the businesses within our city. So at this time, welcome my wife, Megan Wheaton, who is a nurse down at Memorial Hospital, and she's got some statements she'd like to make.
Okay, so this whole idea started, being at the hospital, you know, it's rough, and the hospital is the hospital. So I went to bed that night, had a brain flurry of thoughts and ideas. Mark took our boys to school, he came back. My first thought to him was, did you know the majority of our businesses in Buchanan are female owned? So we went out to lunch that day. We happened to run into Tony over at Gary Z's, which you all know is owned by Mariah. And so we're here this evening, Monday, March 24th, 2025, to honor and celebrate the incredible contributions of these female business owners. Your resilience, innovation, and leadership not only drive economic growth, but also inspire future generations to dream big and break barriers. On behalf of my husband, Mayor Mark Wheaton, all of the commissioners, and Tony McGee, our city manager, thank you for your dedication, hard work, and the lasting impact you make in our community.
Thank you very much. And so with that, I'd just like to bring a few statistics to everybody's awareness that within the state of Michigan, there's approximately 902,000 female women-owned businesses, which, approximately 902,000 privately owned small businesses within the state of Michigan. Within that, we have about, as of 2017, 2,591. Now I know those numbers have been skewed a little bit since 2017. We're quite a few years off of that. And that makes up for about 410 businesses just in Berrien County alone. And with the numbers that we have before us, and once again, these are approximations, the city of Buchanan alone makes up 7% of that within Berrien County. So there's a significant amount of women within the community of Berrien County, but in the city of Buchanan, I think we came to our last count was around 30. Is that correct?
32.
I would imagine somebody's going to correct us and make sure we don't miss anybody, and we chose not to go through all of them, but there was an unbelievable amount of women who have chosen to take the necessary steps to become business owners within this city, and it's pretty amazing. And here we are in March, Women's History Month. We have a young lady who sits on our board as well. We have the women who are within the city hall. I wanted to make sure, Kala, we recognize you and everyone who put forth the effort to bring this to our attention as well, and put forth the effort to make us aware of how important this is and how they've pushed forward the community inside of Buchanan. So at this time, I'm going to read the proclamation, and then for anybody who's in the audience who is a women-owned business, I'd like to hand these to you personally, along with my wife. And I'm sure Callie will take a photo, and we can post that. So I'll read this proclamation, and then we'll do some photos. So, City of Buchanan, Michigan proclamation in recognition of Women's Month. Women's History Month is a time to honor and celebrate an invaluable contributions of women throughout history, recognizing their achievements in leadership and innovation and service across all sectors of society. The City of Buchanan acknowledges the strength, resilience, and determination of women who have shaped our community, our state, and our nation, making lasting impacts in business, education, healthcare, public service, and the arts. Women-owned businesses play a vital role in Buchanan's economic development, creating jobs, driving innovation, and improving overall quality of life of residents. These businesses not only provide essential goods and services, but also foster economic independence, inspire future generations, and contribute to the cultural and social fabric of our city. The City of Buchanan is committed to supporting the uplifting women entrepreneurs, recognizing their dedication and perseverance in overcoming challenges to achieve success. I, Mark Whedon, Mayor of the City of Buchanan, do by here proclaim the month of March as Women's History Month in Buchanan, and urge all residents to celebrate and support the remarkable women who continue to shape our community and economy. I have hereon set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Buchanan to affix the 24th of March 2004 as Women's History Month Day. 2005? That's the 2004. And of course my wife corrects me. I appreciate that. All right, so if anybody, if any of the women-owned businesses that are here this evening would like to join us up front, and we'll hand you out the proclamations. If not, it's going to be fine. We will hand deliver these as well. Look at this. Oh, look at. And this is just a handful, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If anybody needs their dog clipped? Anybody needs some food? Anybody needs
Can we get discount rates for our dogs?
I forgot I said my really good.
Basically, if you need anything, if you need
Oh, Haley.
Everybody look here, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, there's like 30.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Well, what do you?
Public servant, right? Well, if that's not an amazing way to start a meeting, I don't know what is. Good. All right. Okay, if everybody would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yeah.
Money,
Present.
Swem,
Here.
and George. You have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I will take a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Support?
I give it to George.
Okay, thank you. All right. At this time, I will take public comments. Oh, no, you.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Thank you.
Aye.
I already marked you.
You're still on the trigger.
I was reading, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Okay, at this time, we will take public comments on agenda items only. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes only. And approach the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Who is this young lady?
Never seen it before.
Norma Ferris, 304 North Oak. Would you make it clear to me and to the public what you are doing with the riverfront? You are applying for a grant, you are accepting the resolution regarding the same subject at the same time? That's the way it looks to me.
Thank you, Norma.
That's all. TV's off.
Thank you, Norma. Okay, seeing no more public comments, at this time, I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Also moved.
Thank you. May I have support?
Money I'll support.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Nays? All right, thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Schedule matters from the floor. Buchanan Market Analysis and Real Estate Redevelopment Strategy presented by Andrew Hahn, Cornerstone Alliance.
Right. I'm going to have to make sure I don't think I'm actually advancing the slides here. So thank you all so much for having the chance to be here tonight. My name is Andrew Hahn. I'm the Vice President of Community Development at Cornerstone Alliance. And I'm going to talk a little bit about A project that we did last summer with the team here, and some recommendations that it sounds like are pretty timely for some other stuff you have on your agenda tonight. So that's our team. We have been around for about 30 years and have a team that supports economic development throughout the county. I didn't look at the agenda. Shame on me that it's all these great women entrepreneurs here. So I trust that some of them have familiarity with our Women's Business Center. We are focused on economic development, community development, site and asset development, and housing resource development is something that we're focused on this year too, that I'll talk a little bit about housing. Go ahead, Tony. So this opportunity came from a grant that was through the Michigan Office of Rural Prosperity that is within the Department of Ag and Rural Development. So in 2024, we received a $50,000 grant to support, try and read, of course I can't quite see up there, to support capacity building and development readiness in Berrien County communities. So we were able to work in 4 communities in the county to do these real estate redevelopment strategies: St. Joseph's Charter Township, Buchanan, Niles, and Watervliet. So it's been a real pleasure to get around and hear from these communities with some of the challenges, some of which are unique and some which are shared. So in those 4 communities, we did real estate, we did market analyses, community engagement activities. I think I see some faces that were here when we did a tour last summer, and a real estate redevelopment strategy assistance. As part of that grant, we also did capacity building work for municipal employees throughout the county and had a 4 sessions on redevelopment, market analysis, site marketing, and incentives. So it was great that we had participation from some of the team here too. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, that is not the version with the data in it, unfortunately. Give me 1 second. I'm going to work the room and stall as a comedian here. It was just up. It's like the preview version shows it, but there we go. And the slides disappear.
Let's go PowerPoint.
Just do it. However we can do it that I can see them.
Good.
Sorry about the tech issue.
All right, give me back to the PowerPoint, Cal. Sorry.
You've got it memorized, right?
I mean, ish. So. So one of the key things that we did was a retail trade market analysis, and wanted to understand as you're looking to develop strategies on how to redevelop your real estate, what that looks like from a restaurant retail standpoint, how much you could absorb into the market. So if you look at that map, it's kind of hard to see, but that is your primary trade area. That is where most of the people that are coming to shop in Buchanan are coming from. It's not really big, but that's okay. There's still a ton of spending that happens within there. So I'm sure you can't see it on the screen, but I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these numbers. So when we look at the total spending in that area, that's everything that everyone that lives in that area, all the money they are spending on retail goods, whether that is a car or going out to eat or buying clothing or going to the hardware store. And these numbers actually capture everything they spend, whether it's within the area, whether it's on vacation, in Kalamazoo, in South Bend, Chicago, whatever. And it's great news. You've got a lot of spending power in the area, but and even better news is there's an opportunity to capture more of it. So right now, the total demand or total demand for the goods in that area is over $300 million a year. And your supply is only about $99 million a year. So there's a $200 million gap out there that could be captured, not all of it, but it could be captured into Buchanan. So I want to keep moving. Next slide. So we looked at some selected categories. This is from what's called the NAICS code, which is something that the Department of Bureau of Labor Statistics does. Every business has a code as far as they have to classify themselves under. So when you look at this, there's things like furniture stores, home furnishing, supermarkets, beer, wine and liquor stores, sporting goods stores, shoe stores, etc. That total spending gap is about $200 million. Like I said, that much is being spent outside of the area right now. Now, obviously, you're not going to capture 100% of that back into the area. People are still going to go on vacation. They're still going to go shop in South Bend or other places. But if you capture 20% of that, that's about $43 million. It could be brought back into Buchanan if you had the right offerings. Similarly, we looked at the total supportable square feet. That aggregate number is about 193,000. Capture 20% of that, and you're looking at 37,000 square feet of additional retail in the community. I'm not going to get deep into the visitor data because I'm sure it's really hard to see, but we looked at visitors as well. So the way that that's done is through what's called geofencing. So basically you can draw a border around an area, and we had one that was for basically the greater downtown area, and it's done through cell phones. So every time a cell phone goes through that area, the data is captured. It is anonymized, so nobody knows where any individual's going. But those visitors that are coming through are captured, and they're people that have to stay 7 minutes or more. So it's not just someone that's driving through, it's people that are actually making visits to downtown Buchanan. So some takeaways from this, the visits are correlated obviously with seasonality and events. We sat and went through this with the team, and we kind of looked at some of those spikes and tried to figure out where they are. So you've had some great programming and events, do more of them, and you'll bring more people in. The bulk of the visitors, that second graph down is kind of a heat map of the times of day that they're coming. So most of them are coming between 10 and 6. It's probably not a surprise. A little more consistently throughout the day on the weekends. You don't see a lot after 6, but I don't want to get into causation, right? You might not have much open after 6, so that could be part of it as well. The broad dispersion by age. So you're getting people of every age group. The biggest group is the 18 to 29. So you've got consumers that are here now. They're going to be around for a long time. So that's good. You have a young demographic. And then the largest income range, or the one that had the greatest concentration, was what you might say is a middle income, $50,000 to $75,000 a year. Most of the visitors have some college or high school degree. Of course, it gets into other educational attainment. And then from a race standpoint, white is the largest, which would make sense to the demographics of the community. So I'm happy to talk about data now or later. I want to make sure I'm answering questions. But we took that, and then we're thinking around these ideas of how do we stimulate development in the community. And we had 6 strategic recommendations that we went through with the team here last summer. So repurposing the Vision for Buchanan document that you have, which is a phenomenal document. Establishing additional tools for redevelopment, some additional tools for place management, continuing to leverage the historic districts which you have and explore expanding those, and then adding housing downtown and in near neighborhoods, and then exploring the establishment of a vacant building ordinance. I'll talk about each of these in a little bit of detail. So I talked about that document you have. Most of you will probably be familiar with this. It is a fantastic document. It is really geared towards an internal audience. So taking that and really kind of flipping it around, beefing it up with sites that are available within the community, those highlighted opportunities at the sites, coming up and actually doing some community-led renderings and site plans of the types of properties and developments you'd like to see, particularly on some of the municipally owned parcels. Putting getting market analysis in there so you've got data, really teeing up the incentives that the community is willing to offer to developers so that they can come in and understand that you know what is available to you, you know how to do this work and how to be smooth and easy to navigate. And then even having some case studies and testimonials so that people can hear from their peers about this stuff. So what are those additional tools? Well, actually the why first. So development is really cost prohibitive right now. The cost of materials is through the roof. Cost of labor is really high, and it just doesn't make financial sense to build housing and other mixed-use development without some form of incentive. So when you do this, when you're leveraging these tools and you're using them, it sends a signal to the development community that you're open for business. Peer communities are already offering these tools, so the developers are going to go where they know that they can get assistance. It'll bring additional tax revenues, population, and consumer spending to the community as well. So 2 of the tools that I want to talk about are a Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. This is something that the city has had in the past and used, I think, somewhat sporadically and has kind of been idle for some time. It's a really good tool. It is available to support redevelopment of contaminated, blighted, or functionally obsolete properties. So you hear brownfield and you're thinking that means something is dramatically polluted and toxic. It can help with that, but really that tool has been used very creatively to help, say, a major office building where it was a headquarters building and the user left, and you've got this giant white elephant of a building. Well, that is now a functionally obsolete building, and you can use these tools to redevelop those. All the activities under the Act in 1996, they get reimbursed through tax incentives, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Tax increment revenues, rather. And the other one is housing TIF. So the Brownfield Act has a set number of things that it can fund with those new tax dollars that are generated. And the typical brownfield activities are remediation, they are site prep, so if you need to build a parking ramp or parking, they are any remediation, site prep, I'm forgetting a couple, I think I have it on the next slide. Something really interesting that happened just last year in 2023 was the state realized that they needed more tools for housing, and this tool was not enough. So they amended the act so that the gap in the cost to build versus what something would sell for is now a reimbursable activity. So say you're a developer and it costs $350,000 to build a house, but it will only sell for $200,000. You're not going to build any houses if you're going to lose money on them. So the new tax dollars that are generated can be captured for a period of years to reimburse that gap so that those units will get built. There are some considerations and some requirements associated with that the people that rent or purchase them can make up to 120% of area median income. So those are your teachers, your firefighters, your city employees. Those are not people that are on disability necessarily. It's not what people think of as affordable housing. It is workforce housing. So there's a great tool out there. We encourage you to dig into it, to come up with a policy, and see if it's the right fit for Buchanan. I'm going to talk just for a second about how TIF works. I think most of you probably have some understanding. The idea is that you're not using this tool except for the but-for situation. The developer needs to convince you that their project is not viable but for your assistance through this incentive. So if you look at the chart there, the vertical axis is the cost, the value of the property, and the horizontal is the year that you're starting in. So basically, if you've got that little tiny icon there, which is the value as it sits today, say it's a blighted building and it's not worth very much, it's worth $50,000. Well, you want someone to come in and invest, another $300,000 to get that back up to a usable condition. So when you do that, there's new value and there are new taxes that are generated because it is worth more. It assesses at a higher amount. So you're basically able to capture those new taxes for a set period of time to reimburse those costs that are eligible under the Act 381. So you capture those, you pay back the developer their costs, and then the beauty of using your own brownfield authority and not just deferring to the county, they have a great authority, is that you can set up a local brownfield revolving fund. You go to the next one. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the revolving fund briefly and then just a little more. So why would you want to have this? Yes, it's more work. It demands more capacity from the team, but it sends a signal to the development community. If you want development, you've got to have every tool in the toolkit available to you. So when you have an authority, it really provides that vehicle to prioritize your areas, the projects you want to do, along with the tool or the funds to implement them. When you have that local fund, you can capture an additional 5 years of increment. So say there's $100,000 a year of new taxes. You pay it to the developer for whatever the agreement says. At the end of that, you can capture that 100 for another 5 years, put it in your revolving fund, and use that for things like cleaning up sites or acquiring a site that the city or the Brownfield Authority wants to own. You can use it for grants, for cleanups. It's a really good tool. Also, the increment can fund consulting. So if you've got, it will cost additional staff time to do this, but you can fund it through the tool. All right. So another strategic recommendation I think is on the agenda tonight is to talk about the DDA. having a tool for place management, right? You have this great downtown. Right now, there's kind of a little bit of a vacuum with how you're going to fund the activities downtown. So why do it? It gives you access to having tax increment financing as well. It's a little different. The brownfield is site specific. And when you do a DDA, it's kind of that rise in values in the whole district you can capture and use for whatever's in your plan. It provides something for people to kind of come around and coalesce around and coordinate their efforts. Great way to engage the community. And it also opens up access to grants and programs. I'm not going to go through all the steps, but that's kind of the outline. There's, if there are steps you have to do in setting up your plan, having public hearings, it's a little bit of work, but I would say that 6 months you could have that done and active. I'm not going to go on in great detail on the National Register districts. You guys have leveraged this tool. It's a great one. I probably didn't pick the best example because that building is still sitting, hasn't been rehabbed yet, but my little tie to Buchanan is I actually wrote the National Register nomination when I was in grad school on that building when I went for preservation. So great tool, keep using it, use it more. Missing middle housing is another piece which most communities don't have right now. If you look at that slide up top, that type of stuff was built all over the place in the 20s and 30s, and in a lot of places it's illegal now. The zoning wouldn't allow for it. You have very suburban zoning in a lot of communities where you have large maximum lot sizes. So really looking at your zoning, making sure that is consistent with the type of housing you want to see developed here. Same thing, more tax base, more consumer spending, added vitality to the neighborhoods in downtown. There's more people walking around and living, more eyes on the street. And having that housing is going to serve to attract talent and business. It's one of the biggest challenges we have when we're working with, we get a lead from the state of Michigan for 1,000 employee, a new factory or something. They want to say, they say to us, well, where are they going to live? And saying, well, if you build it or if you come, we'll build it. That doesn't really cut it. Like, you need to be ready and have some supply. So, and I want to hit just on one thing before we move on. So those numbers at the bottom, if you think about adding new housing, what that means for the economy. So kind of on average, every household is going to spend about $58,000 a year in the trade area. So every new household. So you do 25 new units, and that's $1.5 million. 50, it's almost $3 million. You get the math. 200 new units is $11 million in more spending that would come to the community. So it's pretty straightforward. And then the last thing is came up. It's not one that we've heard a lot in some of the other communities, but there are some buildings in the community that have sat vacant and really have not provided the impact that they could on the community. So one tool that is available to cities is to look at something like a vacant buildings ordinance. And the great thing is you can set this up not as a punitive thing, but also with an incentive. So you use the registration fees and you can put that in a pot. You can offer grants to help people get their buildings up to code and move them along. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. It's not a really commonly used tool. Muskegon did it for a long time and had some success with it. So it's something we would encourage you to look at. You've got great buildings in the community. Let's get them into active service. I think that's my last slide.
It is.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, happy to answer any questions if there are some.
Appreciate that.
Ah, you guys are easy. Thank you.
And then for the
Thanks,
committee,
Andrew.
we'll make sure this report's posted online so that people can download the information, so.
The report, so the slide deck, you've seen that. The report has even more data. I didn't want to go through all of it, but I would encourage you to look at the PDF of it. It's got really deep data.
The entire pack, board is in a board packet, so they all have it. We will put online for everybody else as well. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Okay. At this time, we'll move on to reports by departments, committees, and boards. Community Development Director will not be present
Yes.
this evening. He is also ill, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, I'll be covering that this evening. Thank you very much. The first matter for you tonight is something we had on your last meeting. This is for the grant application for Phase 2 of the waterfront project. Phase 1 is the kayak launch with some parking improvements. Phase 2 that is going to be come to this is actually Phase 3. I apologize. This will be for a fishing platform, pit toilets and some more sidewalks in the park. So this is what was brought before you at your last meeting with the request for match money. It went before Barb at their last meeting last week. Barb unanimously supported to support this project and move it on to you for consideration. So this will be the $150,000 in match you already committed to with a $400,000 grant asked to go with it.
I don't understand everything I know about it. Where's it gonna be set up according to the boat launch?
So if I use my hand, this is the river here, boat launch, kayak launch, fishing platform, and bathrooms over here. The bathrooms would be between the pavilion and where the boat launch is now.
Now, them won't be flush toilets.
No, pit toilets.
Okay. And then, why do they insist on building that so high up above the water?
That is just for rendering purposes. Thank you for bringing that out. That is an example. We will not build one at that height. That is not practical for fishermen,
Right.
fisher people, sorry. We'll use a floating platform so it adjusts with the water levels of that area there. It won't be that image that was in there. That was just for illustrative purposes.
Okay,
Good question.
thanks.
So at this time, consider resolution 2025.03/09, a resolution to approve the MNRTF grant application for the St. Joe River Improvement Project.
Mayor, sorry,
Yes.
can you call for public comment, the grant application?
My apologies. So at this time, we will take public comment on the application. If you so choose, please approach the podium and state your comments for the record. Very good. Thank you very much.
Can I ask one question?
Absolutely.
Why do we have to do this when we have public comment at the beginning of the meeting?
It's a grant requirement on the application. You have to call it out specifically on the agenda for public comment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, at this time, I'll take a motion for the resolution.
I'll move to approve resolution 2025.03/09 as presented.
Very good. Do we have support?
This is money I'll support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Swim,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
and Money.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item 2, recreation passport grant application for Catherine Park improvements.
Thank you, Mayor. This is, again, one we brought before you at your last meeting. This is to augment the planned improvements at Catherine Park. The city will match $150,000 to the grant request for $150,000. Unlike the trust fund grant, we will know about these this summer. So if we don't get the grant, we can go back to the original plan, but if we get the grant, we'll be able to really do everything anybody could want to do in the park. So we'll still be able to do improvements this year. We just might be able to do more improvements this year under this thing. Again, this was at Barb's meeting last week. It was unanimously passed to move forward to you for approval.
Very good. Okay, at this time, just like before, we will take comments on this grant application. If you'd like to make comments on this grant application, please approach the podium and state your comments for the minutes, please. Norma, we always tempt you to make comments.
I know it. Norma Ferris, 304 North Oak. With this employment, how are you going to advertise that you need to have this many people
Employment for what, Norma? I'm sorry.
for doing all this work on these parks?
Absolutely. So once the grant application is approved, then we will contract that work out along with the equipment install.
How?
That will be communicated out probably through Facebook and through our website as well.
Thank you, AI. We don't get that.
We'll make sure you get a volunteer form.
And I can guarantee, Norma, we will communicate
If I
this.
volunteer, you'll pay for it.
That's not pay for it. I will pay for it.
I like the way she does that. Norma, I'm certain if approved, we'll have that communication out through
Okay.
this avenue as well, okay? So
Public
we'll make sure
hearing?
You don't want to go.
Well,
to
not a
work
public
anyhow.
hearing, but we'll be here at the meeting to discuss what
I'll be-
the specifics. I'm certain you will.
I'll be here.
Thank you so much.
Do you want Mark's phone number?
Craig got it already.
Dan.
I just have one comment to make, Mayor. So just for public awareness, we've been setting aside a portion of our cannabis excise tax funding into a capital account specific to parks and recreations for a little bit every year. So this is not money that's just coming out of next year's tax dollars. These are purchases and investments we've been saving for at least 4 years I've been here. So
Yeah, and as people know, the Catherine Park's been on our radar for many, many years, but Tony put a little bit of a pause on it because And I thank you for this because you really wanted to give us every opportunity to put as much as we can into that centralized park that has been asked of us from the community through surveys. So thank you for that, because I know that when you see what they're offering, it's going to be pretty amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be that discussion we had before where we were trying to get all of that old equipment
Correct.
in there. Yeah, this is gonna be newer and better and
What the
lot
neighborhood
more.
deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the community deserves.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay, at this time, I will take a motion to consider resolution approval of 2025.03/10, a resolution to approve recreation passport grant.
this is money. I'd move to approve resolution 2025 at 03/10 as presented.
Thank you. Do you have support?
Support?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
and Swam.
Yes.
Motion
Thank you
carries.
very much. Okay, moving on to item 3, interim building official, consider the approval of independent contractor for Todd Herder Inspections LLC to serve as their interim building official for the city of Buchanan.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
As you know, our current building official is out for a somewhat extended period of time right now. The other building officials in the county did a great job stepping up and just helping us for that first few weeks of that. Fortunately, with their workloads increasing with the building season coming here, we're gonna need to put somebody on contract. We've worked out an agreement with Mr. Herder for 2 months while our building official is going through his process. With our building official out in the men, this is actually a revenue neutral thing for us to pick up this contract to keep our building stuff moving.
Okay.
I know there's only so much we can say under HIPAA, but shouldn't we make some kind of public announcement about Guy?
He's doing well.
Okay, he's recovering.
Yes.
I mean, you know, we could tell you a lot more, but I'd get in trouble for something I don't really deserve to get in trouble.
And you've been doing well.
And I,
He's doing really well.
You've been doing well.
it was another government con job.
Dan, any other?
Guy's situation was not.
Yeah, I know.
This is not
I
our
got
day.
both my thumbs still.
Okay.
Or JFK.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve the independent contract for Todd Herder Inspections, Inc. to serve as building official as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
and George.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Almost got us looking.
Very good. Yeah. We reeled him in. All right.
Sorry for that.
You did.
No, you're good.
You're
You're good. All right. Unfinished business. Ordinance 2025.03/441, consider the second reading and approval of said ordinance on the ordinance of dwelling unit registration.
All right, so second reading and approval last 2 weeks ago, we had a public hearing, and your first reading, this is for rental registration, just putting it in place in the city. So this is for final approval after this. It does go into effect 15 days after publication, but the program will not roll out until July 1.
Okay. I will take a motion on the second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and approval of ordinance 2025.03/441 as presented.
Very good. Thank you. Support?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
and Whedon.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
I know we went through all this already, and I missed it. Is this the registration for the B&Bs and the rentals?
That will be coming up soon.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget, I want to ask. Okay.
All right. Moving on to new business, St. Joe Riverboat launch improvements. Consider the approval of engineering and regulatory construction administration services from Avonmarsh for the St. Joe Riverboat launch improvements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
This is tied to a grant that Avonmarsh secured for the city last year. This is for phase 2 of the improvements there. Phase 1 of the improvements, which are the kayak launch and some parking improvements, have just been permitted. This phase will be for the launch itself and additional parking improvements. We're going to merge these two together for bidding purposes just because we're to get better pricing with that bigger project with the intent of bidding it this fall. This contract right here will get that design and permitting work going. This is money that is either grant or previously committed by the commission. So there's nothing new here in front of you, but we will be able to start work with the approval of this contract this evening.
Very good. Thank you.
I do want to say too, you were associated with Albemarle,
Yeah.
but this was done long before you were employed
Correct.
with the city.
Yes.
Thank
Just
you.
wanted to clear
Yeah,
that up.
yeah, good point of reference.
These were actually coming up when I was interviewing for this job, and we put a hold on it because we didn't want the conflict while I was interviewing while still there. So that's why they're just coming before you now.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tony. Okay, at this time, we'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve the proposal from Avon for the St. Joseph River boat launch as presented.
Very good. Do we have support?
Money I'll support.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
Money,
Yes.
Swem,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
and Bianski.
Yep.
Motion carries.
Okay. All right, downtown parking and event space project. Consider the proposal for professional services from Avon Marsh for the downtown parking and event space project.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
This is, again, a grant. It's this project 100% grant funded. The grant was secured by Avon Marsh at no cost to the city for this work. All this is pre-negotiated as part of that grant submission. This will pay 100% of the design work, not construction. We still have to figure that out for these projects. The project itself includes the old parking lot area next to McCoy's Creek by the fire station there. That will be reestablished as a parking lot to serve both the Commons area and the downtown area. And then, as you know, there's that grass lot next to Pears Mill there. Through a design process, bringing in the public, we will get public input to come up with something to do with that space to make it so it supports all the different activities in the park area there in the Commons.
And I do recall, it was, they're going to provide us with 3 different options.
Yes,
Is that correct inside of that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's the grassy knoll or the grass right between Pears Mill and the community center parking lot and Oak Street.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
And the creek.
Correct.
The other one I think is formerly known as
Millrace.
Nelson Train
Millrace.
Station. Is that
Yeah,
right?
and that's Nelson Transfer, or it used to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the proposal from Avon Marsh for the downtown parking event space as presented.
Very good. Do we have support?
This is money, I'll support that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Swem,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
and Money.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, Vinzinski and Company engagement letter. Consider the Vinzinski and Company engagement letter for the private placement bond.
This relates to, this is a new engagement letter for them. The $12,000 one we had is now null and void. Because we're going this route, we're going to save costs on our transaction costs. And this new contract represents those savings. And Andy to consult with us through that bond placement process.
Great. Any discussion? Okay, at this time, I'll take a motion to approve the engagement.
I'll move to approve the engagement letter from Vinzinski and Company as presented.
Thank you. Do you have support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
and Swem.
Abstain.
Business.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Item D, Brendan Newhoff proposal. Considering approving the Brendan Newhoff 2005 road rehabilitation proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
This is related to the bond we are going out for the additional $500,000 and funding to do Liberty Street as well as portions of Redbud, River Street, Terra Coupe, and Ryan-Earson. So this will get them going on putting that bid package together so we can get that out in time as the asphalt plants open this spring. It's not going to fix everything we need to do in this town, but the price is very fair from the engineering firm to really maximize what we can put out on the streets and work. And it will hit some of our most critical areas. Just for you guys, it'll be Liberty Street from front to Ryan-Earson, Redbud from 5th to the apartment drive at Fulton, River Street from the bridge 440 feet to the west, Terra Coupe from Front Street to the cemetery, and Ryan-Earson from Liberty to the east city limits. Mike and the Public Works guys working with the engineering team went through everything in the city, identified where we could best put this money to use for long-term benefit, and this is what we came up with.
Very good. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you, Mike, and the team as well.
It's gonna be tore up for a long time, but it's gonna be good when it's done.
It's gonna be, yeah.
Actually, it's
It'll be
only gonna be
done right.
tore up this summer.
Yeah.
This summer and fall.
It'll be done right.
Yeah.
And it'll be done the way it's supposed to be done. No more Band-Aids.
I'll move to approve the proposal from PNN for 2025 road rehabilitation as presented.
Very good. Do you have support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yep.
Money,
Yes.
Swem,
Yes.
and George.
Yes.
Thank you. Item E, Resolution 2025.03/11, consider resolution establishing rental dwelling unit registration and inspection fees.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. This is the resolution that will allow us for implementing the new ordinance that you considered and approved this evening. There's a two-stage fee with this. For long-term rentals, traditional rentals, it's $35 per year. That is both in line with our surrounding communities, and it doesn't create a burden for our year-round residents in terms of affordability on their housing. We can revisit this when we want, but we felt that was the right number to start with. It should cover our costs to do those inspections, which is all we're looking to do. And if it doesn't, we'll revisit that. But right now, for this first year, we are proposing $35 per unit with your guys' approval. On the short-term rental, and that would go into effect July 1st. On the short-term rental side, we are proposing an annual fee of $125. Those do tend to operate more like businesses, and there are more costs of the community associated with that, hence the higher fee. What we are asking is the short-term rental ordinance, that portion, to go into effect 15 days from now. And we want to get those short-term rentals registered and on the books. That way it allows us to kind of do a trial run through our processes, our inspections and everything. But that for these ones that are running now, we want to get them registered as it relates to the next item you'll be considering.
So who's doing all this work?
Everybody you're looking at around here.
All right, so you're gonna do a Facebook extract?
We are going to
Word
roll
of mouth?
out everything like we have been doing the last 3 months. There will be a broad, widespread communications throughout the city on this. And we've actually already gone through and identified most of the short-term rentals in town, and we'll be reaching out to them directly that are established.
Are these rates kind of like a broad spectrum of other rates
Yeah.
around the?
Yeah, so we looked at the town.
Looking
Yeah.
it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all based on our, and on the short-term, we're actually on the lower side.
Oh, okay.
South Haven's $600.
How much?
600 a year.
Yeah, but they rent for $3,000.
Exactly, it's relative. So we started at the lower end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid point.
And the whole point of doing this is, we've all talked about it, is because like New Buffalo's way behind the curve on it, right? South Haven was way behind the curve on it. And then you try to catch up, and so when you come into Buchanan, you're gonna be used to it.
Correct.
And this is gonna be all about code enforcement, or is Guy's job position gonna be doing these inspections?
It'll be code enforcement and fire department both.
Okay.
Okay, kind of out of sync because we need a motion.
Yeah,
We
but-
support
so-
it,
Yeah.
go to discussion, but
No,
I'll make a
no.
motion to approve resolution 2025.03/11 as presented.
Thank you. Do we have support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swem,
I feel like I need to abstain because I own rental property in town, so I will abstain.
George,
Yes.
and Whedon.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay. All right, item F, resolution 2025.03/12, consider resolution to impose a moratorium on the registration of short-term rental units within the city of Buchanan.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
And this does tie to that previous action of yours. To start, first and foremost, this is not anything against short-term rentals or saying we're never going to do them. What this is saying is anybody who is doing them now currently in the community, as soon as they register, they're going to be allowed to keep doing them. What we are doing is saying if anybody who can't demonstrate that they were doing it on this day to day, we've been tracking it. If somebody brings it in, we are fine with that to prove. They will not be allowed to do it until the Planning Commission comes back to you with a recommendation in terms of where do we allow short-term rentals in this community and how many do we allow. What we don't want to do, to Commissioner Viganski's part, is playing catch-up to this issue like so many other communities have done. We want to go proactive. So we're in direct the Planning Commission to come back to you guys with a recommendation on short-term rentals, where they'll be allowed in the community and how many. But for now and moving through in the future, anybody who's doing it today will always be allowed to do it under the current ownership.
So as part of the Plan Commission, a reasonable amount of time would be 90 days to write this up, wouldn't it?
We're giving
Or
them
60 or 30?
We're giving them 8 months because we do want to have some public things,
Oh,
but they
okay.
can go sooner than that.
Okay,
They can
okay.
go as quick as they want.
Right,
We're saying no more than 8 months. We want something back to you guys.
okay. I just don't want to wait 9 months and then start the whole.
No,
process.
no, absolutely not.
No, but you're 100%.
Not that I would say that would happen in this improved world, but.
Not that you could. All right, thank you. This time we'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution 2025 03/12 as presented.
Thank you. Do we have support?
This is money I'll support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Money,
Yes.
Swim,
I think I need to abstain for the same reason as before.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
and Bianski.
Yes.
Bianski.
Yes. I'm sorry. I was thinking about it.
We saw it. No, we
rocket train to Spain.
We saw it. We saw it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right.
That's twice in one night.
No, it's okay. It's
It's usually me she has to poke, to be clear. I mean,
very good. Moving on. Item G, DDA Downtown Development Authority. Item A under that, under G is discussion. Any discussions on the DDA topic this evening?
I'm ecstatic.
Maybe that's why you were already.
That's what you're moving ahead.
That's- I was-
You're right.
I'm just over the moon. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many things that could be said, but 90% of them are derogatory, so there's no sense.
Agreed.
And I could really get going, but I won't, because I want this to go forward.
Yeah.
I
Same.
want this worse than anything, because it was just so misled.
Yeah.
So, and anybody that applies for this, you know, I know our memories are long, and there's been a lot of bad blood in the DDA, and I'm not gonna say forget about it. Nobody forgets about it, but move on and put Buchanan and all of the politics, put Buchanan ahead of all other things. I mean, I get along with some people on the extreme opposite side of me in politics quite well. We don't talk about it. We talk about Buchanan. So,
Yeah, this is our opportunity to move forward. I think everybody in this room has an extreme interest in Buchanan. I think it was a prime example of what we can do as a group. The communities outside of our preview, outside of our borders, have an extreme interest in our community, and it continues to grow. So this is just one more opportunity for us to reestablish what had been dismantled and is brought back together. So I'm pretty excited about it as well. So, yep.
All right.
There's a pause. So we'll move on. I guess item B, we really just what we need from the community, and we need from everybody in this room and everybody at the City Hall and the Commission included to call for applicants. There's very similar. There's some small requirements that fall within that, but ultimately it's the interest of our downtown development and to put that board together to review the bylaws and rewrite those and establish the individuals who will be on that board. And please get the word out for people who are interested in our downtown. And currently there is a lot, so it's a very exciting time. Any other items? Anybody else?
will this application be out on the website?
Okay.
As of tomorrow.
tomorrow morning it'll be available on, both here at City Hall and on the website.
So where does people go to find it?
I'll put it as a press release right on our front page,
Oh, okay,
and then it'll be at City Hall if anybody wants to
okay,
pick up
for
a paper copy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. We don't need a motion on that, it appears. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll move on to expenditures. Consider approving the expenditures for March 24th in the amount of $78,569.29.
As always, I called Tony on Friday, and there was really nothing. We talked about the salt. The state pretty much dictates when we buy salt. So I'll just make the motion to approve expenditures in the amount of $78,569.29 as presented.
Thank you. Do we have support?
This is money I'll support.
Thank you. I just want to make one point of reference. We sit on the finance board, Patrick and myself, and just for everybody's knowledge, it is absolutely wonderful to meet with the bookkeeper and have everything 100% accounted for. Zero, what do you call it? The bank reconciliations at the end of the month are zero. Everything matches 100%. If there's adjustments, she knows exactly where to go, what number it belongs to. I mean, this is, for people who don't follow numbers, this is one of the most exciting times within Buchanan where they know specifically where it's going, why it's there, how it's supposed to be spent, what budget it's supposed to come from. If my team works on the water department, that money is split. Like please understand that this took a lot of work and a lot of tears from the staff here at the City Hall to get to this point. And Dan's frustration was well documented and justifiable because you were correct in a lot of avenues that it was not being done well. So I'm very proud of this team.
I'm just really glad that you guys all allowed it to come off the consent calendar, because again, you know, the consent calendar was just blindly accepted most of the time.
Yep, absolutely.
And I mean, I go through the checks, I believe, I do go through the checks, and I have caught them on a couple of things that they either didn't see, or, I mean, they see it all, but they not question it. And that question usually leads to saving more money. It might only be $100, might be $200, but it's still saving more money.
So each one of us on the commission gets the full expenditures from the previous month and then the check runs, and we go through, I would imagine all of us do go through the check runs, and all of us usually have the same questions, like what the heck is that, or what is this? And it holds them accountable, and in turn, you guys can hold us accountable because we know where the money's being spent. So it's a good time to be in Buchanan. So we already had a motion and support. Roll call, please.
Swam,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
and Money.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This time, we do not have any communications. We will accept public comments for non-agenda items only. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes, and it can be for non-agenda items.
I should have asked, it can only be a comment or can it be a question?
I'll allow a comment. I mean, it can be a comment or a question.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
It's okay, I understand.
So I just want, I was curious, it's more of a curious question. Is anything being done on Redbud between Rynearson and 12? Because that's a really horrible stretch.
It is a bad stretch as well. Unfortunately, it's not in this round, but it is on our list to get to.
This year?
Not this year.
Okay. No, it's just difficult because that's such a main thoroughway now that that's even more important than the one that's next to Hovind.
Yeah, it's definitely on the radar.
Another question is, what defines short-term rental?
Anybody under 30 days.
Anybody under 30 days, good. And then lastly, I want to confirm, so we have this new apartment inspection situation coming in, and with fees, I'm assuming that's going to apply to all the big complexes.
Everybody.
Because those are the two major fires that I've experienced in the 18 years that I've been here.
And it really is that public safety is why we're doing this, is for that reason. So it applies
And
to
so
everybody.
they'll get up into the right, because the last big fire there, they did not have fire barrier walls.
Between the,
And so it crawled all the way across. So anyway, too bad about Redbud. Can't have everything.
I'd pay them all if I had the money.
Thanks.
You always ask for more than you get.
Very good, thank you, Tom. At this time, we'll move on to executive comments. City Manager.
Just a couple quick things. I want to thank both the commission and the staff. The onboarding and what we've been able to do in these first 3 months has been amazing. So thank you all to everybody. For the community, the MEDC will be here on April 3rd at noon, along with MISTA, to do a review of all their programs for the downtown business owners and building owners here, so you know it's accessible at the state level. We're actually meeting with them later this week to work out the schedule. So starting the end of this week, first of next, you'll see information on that meeting coming up. But MEDC and MISTA representatives will be in the community on April 3rd to present their programs and answer questions from business and property owners. Excess inventory is still coming your way next month. We had a bunch of stuff on the agenda. I didn't want to get to it, but it is coming. And we have really amped up our code enforcement in the spring here now along the major corridors. I can tell that by the number of people coming to City Hall to ask questions why they got a ticket. Just as you know, we are giving everybody a reasonable amount of time to address the situation before being ticketed. So our model is talk to them about it. We'll give you X amount to address it, and if you haven't, we'll be writing tickets. So we'll continue that throughout the spring here.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. George.
I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and the staff. It's always a pleasure working with you guys and the commission. And then thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate that. Brought a lot of just good knowledge, and I look forward to reading more into that. So thank you for being here tonight and sharing your time with us. I'm really excited to see everything moving forward in Buchanan. I know it's kind of dreadful a little bit with all the road construction. I'm like, oh, I can't go down that street, you know. But I'm really excited for when it all will be done and it all will be new, and then we have to focus our vision and our time elsewhere and just make Buchanan the best, even though it already is. But anyway, yeah, I am excited about the DDA, and I am looking forward to seeing the applicants that come through. So fill out those forms. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Swin?
Just a big thank you to the women-owned businesses that we spoke about at the beginning of the meeting. I thought that was a really great idea that you brought to the group. So, but thank you.
I know better than to take credit for that. It's 18 years, man.
When you put the numbers to it, it's like, oh wow, I know all these people.
Right.
I didn't realize, I knew there was a big impact, but I didn't realize the size of that impact. So thank you to all of you out there. And then I really appreciate the construction updates, and it's been really good dialogue. I think the community's been giving lots of feedback, so please let everybody know as you look at the Hilltop post and the Red Bud Harbor post and the city post how you can best navigate it. It's going to take the whole city to work together to get through it this year, and everyone needs our support. So, but I do appreciate the positive dialogue and working together. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Beyonce?
My wife is a self-employed businesswoman in this city.
Give her up.
Yep. And I'm her secretary or treasurer. And I did want to say something about Miss Congeniality. I haven't really been trying out for it.
Oh.
But
I mean, you've got a lot of votes. I mean, it's really starting to sway your way.
well, the thing about it is, though, is what the people don't understand is how much the atmosphere has changed. And thank you. I've said thank you at the last meeting, but you know, everything I was constantly raising holy Cain about was true. Whether you want to admit it or whether you want to accept it. And my delivery is a bowl in a china shop with a sledgehammer tied to my tail. And I admit that, and I'm proud of it. You know? And I'm not saying I'm not sitting up here saying I told you so. It's just, it feels good, so good that I don't need to say anything because people are actually seeing what I was so mad about all the time. And I mean, I'm a nice teddy bear M&M. I really am. That's all I got to say. Peanut M&M.
You must have been. That word that you find under your
Who would have thought he'd been our comedian?
I sat next to Miss Congeniality. Too long, we had to switch seats a couple of times. You know, I do want to say congratulations to all the ladies out there that have brought the small businesses to Buchanan. Megan, thank you for bringing it to the forefront. I know, you know, as a previous business owner in this city, we appreciate everything that everybody does, especially chunks. And so, so thank you very much to each and every one of you ladies that make the community a little bit better place. The DPW staff doing a great job, buddy. I can't say more to you because I see you guys out there working all the time. My street is still probably the worst one in town, but you know what? I can live with that for a while till it gets cleaned up. I live on Terracoop, if you don't know. So anyway, yeah. And I'm quite sure it's going to be great come Memorial Day, even with the Band-Aid fix. So thank you, Mike, and your DPW crew for all of the guidance that you lend to them and getting this stuff done. Same way with Harvey. I see his guys out doing their job downtown, trying to make it a little bit better. It's just good to see that, you know, we can count on you guys for doing that. Once again, I always say thank you to the staff and to our newly elected city manager. They do such a great job down here. I think we're starting to see what's going on here in Buchanan. I mean, other than the disasters we got right now, it's going to be great when it gets done. I mean, you know, and I'm probably one of the first ones to complain about trying to get to City Hall, but You know, it is what it is. When it's done, it'll be great. Once again, I think this commission deserves a lot of credit for everything that we're doing. We can keep Dan in check, and we can move forward and
That's
Just
Mr.
continue.
Oh,
I
I think we're gonna have to get a new nameplate out here, but anyway, just thanks for everybody that shows up, and the interest we got in this city and everything that we're doing, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I second everything that all the commissioners have stated. To my beautiful wife, thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I really, as Patrick said, was completely not consciously thinking about the number of women that make an impact in this community, and really do it with their heart and give everything they can every day to make sure that they stand up and are prideful and proud of what they do as women and business owners. So thank you so much to you, and thank you to the women in this room and every woman in this city who owns a business. Tom, thank you to you. I think it brought something to the community's attention that just because this is a hard line on the agenda, it doesn't mean that we can't allow questions. We can have some decorum, and it was very justified questions, and it was something that maybe other people had, and it maybe not fit the narrative with the standard practice that we have up here, but you know, we can have dialogue that doesn't always fit a very concrete box. So thank you for that. Thank you to the city staff, thank you to Tony, and thank you for everybody who's here tonight. So I very much appreciate it. Ms. Congeniality, you did amazing. Mr. I didn't, well, did I misappropriate you? Okay.
You called me this.
Okay. All right. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Also move.
I'll support.
Thank you. Roll call.
George,
Yes.
Whedon,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Money, and
Yes.
Swem.
Yes.
You're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
I know.